So welcome. This is the June 2018 RE Implementation Lab. The theme is, what does it mean to be a people of blessing? We only have a few people on live, so I'm going to review the packet. And if no one joins us, this will be a short lab. So we'll see what happens. So the packet on blessing, which came out 8 weeks ago or so, had 4 sessions for children. The first one was a compilation of all of the things that I have collected over the years about the flower communion. And of course, when we deal with the flower communion through thematic ministry, what that means is we are given a new angle for which to view these older rituals that are so important. And our new angle means that the flower communion becomes a blessing ritual. I really had fun with that. I found some new resources to myself, and I hope that you too will find some resources. One of the things that I didn't realize is that the Czech symbol is a sunflower, and how appropriate to have a bouquet of sunflowers on the centerpiece for this flower communion service. The next session was on Ramadan, because the month of half of May and half of June is Ramadan for our Islamic neighbors, and there's a whole bunch of compilation of books on Ramadan for children that have recently come out, say in the last 2-3 years. So I hope you are able to use some of that. The third session is on Juneteenth, which is a ceremony commemorating the last reading in Texas of the Emancipation Proclamation. It had been around since Abraham Lincoln wrote it, but of course the South and the North was in the middle of a civil war. So when the soldiers finally arrived, the Union soldiers finally arrived in Texas and read this to this town, it was June 19th, which became a celebration called Juneteenth. And what a blessing that was. The last Sunday, I worked on the celebration of the Census Day, which was that actual celebration, and lots of things to enjoy there in terms of meditation and sunshine and a little service opportunity. So when I was writing my welcome letter, one of the things I wanted to share with you was that at first I was in my old white-centered, hey, everything's a blessing, isn't this a wonderful place to live? Fortunately, because of the journey that Loretta has been on and our faith, I took a step back and say, well, what if I didn't have that many blessings in my life? And so instead of the first wording that I had created, what I wanted to really share was that each of us is able to bless, and each of us is worthy to receive blessings. And I think that gets away from assuming we are in this beautiful, privileged state and still get at what it means to be a people of blessing. So the other thing in the packet was the Song for All Ages, which, by the way, came to my awareness in a curriculum module I did at De Benneville Pines in the Pacific Southwest District. And one of the curriculum projects that the group came up with was a Song for All Ages. And I said, do you mind if I use this and include it in the Soul Matters packet each month? So that's the origin, thanks to those creative folks who did the Song for All Ages about this little light of mine. And there's a whole backstory, which is wonderful. So for this month, I invite you to indulge in the magical numerology of our Singing the Living Tradition hymnal. The magical numerology is what I consider when I look at the numbers of the hymns. So Spirit of Life, which is one of our basic hymns, is number 1, 2, 3. It must mean something. I can't tell you what, but it sure sounds important to me to be number 1, 2, 3. Finally, I created a quick little survey on who is your UU patron saint. BuzzFeed has a really great little program that you can do it on anybody. And so I hope that you and other people that you know, as well as the youth, which is where I stuck that, can go in and find out who is your patron saint. And as I say in the directions, if you don't like who came out, and to be quite frank, it's not a scientific survey, try it again and answer the questions just slightly differently, because what I found out doing it several times myself is that really it's, if you weight 2 of the questions to be similar to some UU, you'll get that UU whether or not it's important to you or not. So anyway, that is the overview of the packet. And the last thing I wanted to share with you was the awareness that we are all in our last stretches of this academic semester, whether you do a summer program or whether you as a professional take off this summer or have to put in place something for the summer but not be there. I want to give you all a wonderful word of encouragement. I'm sure that this year you have put your all in it, and I know how I felt by this time in May. And I think our congregants feel this too. So I'm not so sure it's not a good idea to take a break from each other. Us cat-like UUs who are so uninstitutional, and come back with renewed spirits in September. That's just me. So I am going to sign off. I wish you all the best and hope to see you for our next set of themes. The first one will be Vision for September. Have a great summer. Blessed be. Bye, everybody.